Estero is hands down the #1 suburb of Fort Myers, but most people moving to Southwest Florida don't even know it exists. And that's exactly why so many retirees are quietly choosing it. Estero consistently ranks as one of the safest places in Florida. It's packed with lifestyle amenities you normally have to drive into Naples for, and yet it still flies under the radar compared to better known spots nearby, which means Estero could be the one suburb that gives you the lifestyle you want without the frustrations that come with other parts of Florida. So if you're thinking of moving here, stick with me. Today I'm giving you the full tour. Neighborhoods, hidden costs, the lifestyle, and the pros and cons. And by the end, you'll know if Estero really deserves to be at the top of your list. At first glance, Estero feels like the perfect balance. Quieter than Fort Myers, more affordable than Naples, and almost everything you need within a few miles. Coconut Point is really the heartbeat of Estero. Locals use it as their unofficial downtown because the city doesn't actually have one. In the mornings, retirees walk the shaded loop here for exercise, and throughout the season, the farmers markets and concerts make it feel more than just a shopping center. Lots of shade here, lots of picnic tables on the side, the streets are lined with palm trees, everything here is decorated beautifully. It feels like a very quaint hometown type of a little city block. And everything here is really well manicured and curated to give that luxury feel, that feel like you're in paradise. And why wouldn't you want to shop here, right? Everybody here is here to have a good time. You live in paradise, every day is beautiful. So what's there not to love? Some retirees love the energy here. Others say it feels too busy. Estero offers both extremes, depending on the community you choose. Let me show you what that looks like in real life, starting with the place at Corkscrew. This community is basically a resort you live in. You've got a lagoon-style pool with a 100-foot water slide, a full restaurant, outdoor and bourbon bars, a coffee shop, massive fitness center with movement studio, tennis, pickleball, bocce, basketball, dog park, even a child watch and spa services. If you want that everything inside the gates lifestyle, this is it. Price-wise, you'll see single-family homes running from 6s to high 9s with larger estates stretching past $1 million. One thing buyers sometimes miss is the carrying cost. HOA and CDD fees together can run around $400 or $500 a month before your mortgage. You're paying for the amenities, not just the address. And to give you a real feel, here's a great example listed by Matt Bressi and Max Duffy with eXp Realty. A home on Elston Way. 3 bedrooms plus a den, 3 baths, just over 2,000 square feet, built in 2019, and it's lakefront with a custom saltwater pool and spa. Western exposure gives you those postcard sunsets. Inside, it's open concept living with plank tile floors, crown molding, a stone feature wall with LED fireplace, white kitchen with walk-in pantry, and a split bedroom layout that includes an ensuite guest room. The primary suite overlooks the lake and has a soaking tub, separate shower, and dual sinks. It's in Flood Zone X, so no flood insurance requirement if you're financing, and it's just a short walk or golf cart ride to the amenity center. If you like a social resort-style environment with tons of energy, this one checks all the boxes. So now we're leaving the place at Corkscrew. We're taking a left onto Corkscrew, heading further inland, east, and we're gonna be heading up to Verdana Village, which is about a mile up here on the right, away from the place at Corkscrew. Now, as we drive here, you'll notice there's a lot more just wildlife, wild land around, undeveloped. There are gonna be some single family homes on the way that just kind of live out here a ways away from everybody, which is nice if you're looking for the isolation and you want some land. This is the place to get it. But I will say land in Estero and Bonita tends to be on the higher side compared to other areas like even Fort Myers, Cape Coral, certainly Lehigh Acres. But again, with that, you're also getting the location, the lifestyle of the Estero area. So Verdana Village just started right about here. We're coming up on the main entrance. And again, with a similar feel, Verdana Village is gonna be somewhat different from the place at Corkscrew. So as you can see, nearby you got Publix, Legend Italian Kitchen. Also have a Dunkin' Donuts, which is surprising. A lot of them tend to be more Starbucks around this area. Same thing though, as you enter Verdana Village, they're still building here, so there's still new construction offered, at least as of the time of filming this. But you do have a guard gate, very similar to the place at Corkscrew. Guard at the gate, you have gated entry. And this community as well is also set back away from Corkscrew, so even the homes closest to the road, you should not be hearing the road noise as much. Gotta grab my stuff. Get in here. So I actually couldn't get in the first time here because the homeowner didn't buzz me in, even though the agents gave me permission to go in. So we're gonna have to go in to see the models this time, since they won't let me in unless the homeowner calls in, and the agents can't get a hold of the homeowners right now. So yep, just have to bear with me here. But that's a good thing, right? Verdana Village is making sure nobody gets in that's not supposed to be in there. And it doesn't matter if it's the listing agent that calls in, it has to be the homeowner. So they have to give me that approval. Right up here you can see this is where obviously they stopped building or are just starting to build a couple more. Looks like they got 2 more going up, 3 more going up right here. They got a 4th one finished at the end. You'll see some vacant lots here and there. This is more towards the back, so this is more of the newest construction stuff. Now, maybe you want something brand new but a touch quieter. Still resort level amenities, just a different pace. As we drive in, we notice how everything here feels new, the roads, landscaping, even the retail plaza right outside the gate. Publix, Dunkin', restaurants, UPS, salons, daily life couldn't be easier. Verdana's amenity package is huge. Indoor and outdoor pickleball, tennis, indoor basketball, a resort-style pool and spa, full-service restaurant with an indoor-outdoor patio bar, craft beer lounge, cafe, fitness and movement studio, bocce, playgrounds, and a dog park. Price points start in the high 400s for 3-bedroom homes and move up from there. HOA plus CDD averages about $400 a month, which covers the maintenance and full amenity package. Who's Verdana perfect for? Buyers who want new construction, love pickleball or tennis, want to be near daily conveniences, and prefer a clean, modern feel over a busy beach town vibe. Golfers will appreciate the Jack Nicklaus designed Old Corkscrew Golf Club is just a 1.5 miles away and open to the public. Here's a great example, also listed by Matt Bressi and Max Duffy with eXp Realty, this 2024 Lennar Venice model on Ives Drive. It's 3 bedrooms, 3 full baths, about 1,852 square feet, with impact-resistant windows and doors, a natural gas kitchen with quartz countertops, walk-in pantry with built-ins, and wood-look tile throughout. No carpet anywhere. The split layout gives guests their own privacy, and the great room opens to a covered lanai with a deep backyard and peaceful marsh views. Also flood zone X, so no flood insurance required, and ready for immediate occupancy. Between the place and Verdana Village, you're seeing 2 sides of modern Estero living. Both resort style and amenity rich, just with different personalities and price points. And that brings up an important reality about life on the Corkscrew Corridor: how your day actually feels once you leave the gate. Let's talk about what it's like getting around the commute, the airport, and yes, the seasonal traffic. You really don't need to leave Estero for daily life. Shopping, dining, healthcare, even a little college town energy are all right here. Miramar Outlets is packed with snowbirds in the winter, but locals know the summer sales are the best kept secret. Huge discounts with almost no crowds. And because FGCU is so close, you'll see younger people working and hanging out here, which helps Estero avoid feeling like just another retirement village. Healthcare is also covered. Lee Health, Coconut Point, just a couple miles from here, offers urgent care, specialty services, and hospital level care without having to drive into Naples or Fort Myers. So yes, you could live almost entirely within a 5-mile radius here, but there's one big piece of the Florida lifestyle Estero doesn't have. And for some people, it's the deal breaker. So we just took a left out of Verdana Village and we're now heading west back towards 41. And we're gonna be heading over to the Lover's Key State Beach or State Park, which is pretty much one of Estero's favorite areas, beach areas and beach locations. It happens to be right in the middle of the island, and that island is Fort Myers Beach all the way down to Bonita Beach. It's a 7-mile long island, and Lovers Key State Park happens to be right in the middle with a little bridge between the two land parts. It's a nice little hidden gem. It's not really that much of a hidden gem because a lot of people know about it, but it's a quiet place. Not a whole lot of people go there all the time, so it's kind of like something off the beaten path a little bit, not your main beach in Bonita or Fort Myers. But it is also a tourist destination, so there can be weddings held there. It can get busy at certain times of the year, but off season for the most part, it's you do got to pay a little bit to park there, so it's not something people typically go to all the time, and it is kind of a little bit of a pain to get to because there's only 2 ways on the island, and that's one in Bonita and the other one is the Fort Myers side, which has the bridge, and it's finally 2 lanes onto the island, but it's only 1 way off. During season, that bridge can get backed up quite a bit for a couple miles, depending on what time of day you're going. That's not always the best way, but if you're going for Lovers Key, the easiest way to get on is usually through Bonita. So instead of going down 41, we actually got on 75 south, and we're gonna head on 75, which is where we're going right now, down through Estero into Bonita, and we're gonna get off the exit at Bonita Beach Road, which will take us right to Bonita Beach, and then we'll head up the island to Estero and Lovers Key State Park, or Lovers Key Beach, which is right in the center of the island. Over on the right, we just went by Estero High School, and it's a little over 6.5 miles from Estero down to Bonita Beach Road via the highway. All right, so we're coming up on exit 116, which is Bonita Beach Road here in Bonita, and this goes right to the beach, which will again bring us to Bonita Beach, and then up the island. We'll head in towards the midpoint of the island where we'll see Lovers Key State Park. You'll notice again though with Bonita that things look a little bit different too. Like I said, Estero, a lot of even the commercial and retail buildings look like they're trying to blend in with the community and be part of the community. So it really feels like Estero is more of a village or a small town versus the city feel that you'll get in Bonita, Naples, and Fort Myers. Even Cape Coral at times can feel more city-like than Estero will. No, we just got off exit 116, Bonita Beach Road. We are on Bonita Beach Road, and this is kind of the main drag in Bonita. You'll see it's like the 41, but it runs obviously east and west instead of 41 running north and south. You'll find a lot of the restaurants, the stores, the service providers. You'll also find the flea market. If you're looking for flea markets and you like to do that, there is a flea market down here right off of Bonita Beach Road and right off the exit. You got your Home Depots, your car washes, but you'll also see Bonita has a lot of older areas too, a lot of communities, a lot of manufacturer communities or mobile home communities also. And you'll see some of those here off the side around the flea market area as well. But essentially we're gonna ride Bonita Beach Road for about 10 miles, and that'll go right into and bring us right to Lovers Key State Park. So right now you can instantly see when you're starting to get close to the beach area, the buildings all change, the roads even look like they change a bit too, and we're actually coming up here into the Bonita Beach area. We've just gone over the land bridge, and we're now making our first turn, which starts us heading up the island. Right off to the left, you have part of the Bonita Beach State Park. So there's definitely parking here, but you also see a bunch of different restaurants and stuff. So you have Doc's Beach House right here is on the left. Everything on the left here is your mansions, really, your beachfront mansions. These are all prime luxury real estate. You'll see a lot of these homes, especially in the Bonita side, are brand new. There are some older homes that are still standing, but for the most part, a lot of newer builds came in here. And then of course, on the other side of the island, which is more your bay side, or they call it the bay side of the island versus the Gulf, you know, you have a lot of older stuff here. There's a lot of multifamily properties on this side. And then you also have down these roads that you'll see us going by, you'll see a lot of the properties down that way are right on water too. Some of them have pools, some of them don't, but you'll also see a lot of undeveloped area on this island as well. Off to the right here, you can see this was all wetlands, you know, almost looks like marsh, a lot of dead trees here. A lot of that unfortunately happened from Hurricane Ian, ruined a lot of these trees and everything. But again, you know, a lot has changed here on the, you know, island, Fort Myers Beach, even the Bonita side. A lot of the old stuff got taken down with the flooding. But you'll see there's a lot of new development going up, a lot of vacant lots for sale, and they're still selling, you know, for pretty good prices, pretty good premiums here. But this is a great place to be if you're looking to be beachfront. Bonita Beach is where a lot of the new stuff is. Fort Myers Beach still has a lot of new stuff going up, and it is changing. The new Margarita Villa is actually expanding some more, but that's still keeping a lot of the tourist, you know, flow going there in that area, since, you know, a lot of Times Square was taken down, unfortunately, and still hasn't rebuilt. But it's a beautiful island. I mean, this is like one of the most gorgeous stretches to drive in our area. You know, if you want to see beautiful homes, you know, well manicured. A lot of this stuff on the Bonita side of the island is really, really beautiful to look at, and just impressive. You know, a lot of these are 3, some of them are even what you'd look at like a 4-story home. And then you also have, of course, you know, your high rises. There's quite a few high rises on the beach throughout this whole area. And, you know, some of them are older, some of them are newer, but either way, you know, these are prime locations, because any of those views and those high rises, any of these views on this side of the island has water. Even the other side, you have quite a few great spots for views. Even if you're close to the road, you still have, you know, usually pretty good views of water one way or the other, whether that's the Gulf or the bay. So we're actually coming up to that bridge that I mentioned before. This is Big Hickory Pass, and we're going right over that bridge, and then just on the other side of this little bridge, there's a stretch of land, and that is where we will find Lovers Key State Park. One of the cool things about down here that you don't find in a lot of other places is when you're near the water, especially if it's Sanibel Parkway or you know, the bridges to Fort Myers Beach, either way on both ends of the island, you'll see, you know, near the bridges, there's usually pull-off parts or pull-off like parking lots. Most of them are gravel or dirt roads, but a lot of people will pull off, and this is where they'll either launch their kayaks. There's kayak launches out here, little spots for that. There's places for people to fish, or if you just want to hang out by the water, you can pull up a chair and hang out there. So it's kind of cool. You know, I'm from up north, and we didn't really see any of that stuff near bridges, even if we were near water. So, and then off right over the bridge to New Pass, right over that, you have Bonita Beach Dog Park on the left. And that's a cool spot. A lot of people like to, if you want to bring your dogs to the beach, some of the beaches don't allow dogs on them. Bonita Dog Beach is made specifically for dog lovers and people with dogs who want to bring them to the beach and just let them run around without having to worry about too much. So now Lovers Key is coming right up here on the left, now that we've gone over the New Pass and past Bonita Dog Beach. You can see while we're driving out here too, there's really nothing out here. You know, you're kind of in the middle of the marshes. You know, you're in the middle of the island, and this is kind of like its own little mini island in between everything. So it's kind of cool. You'll see some, you know, some stations for road work and things like that, or some construction site equipment, but you know, now we're entering into Lovers Key State Park, and you'll see it's very, very nature-based. You know, you're kind of out in the wild a little bit, and it's nice. It's cool. They have a little pull-off here if you want to just they have a little trolley, a beach trolley that you can kind of park at and let people go into, but you're driving further and further in towards like the wild beach area. Lots of just natural vegetation on both sides of us, just untouched. There's little signs here for wildlife crossings like turtles. You'll see lizards out on the sun, sunbathing. Pay by phone or cash. They have a little guard gate here. They used to have somebody in it, but it looks like nobody's working there. And I think they just, all the parking lots down here went to the pay by the app, or they have a number you can dial in. You got lizards out here just bathing on the pavement, but it's a little bit of a drive to get out here too. You know, you're not seeing much, and at some point in time you might be like, am I going the right way? Because you do have to drive through quite a bit of just vegetation and wildlife to get out here, but you'll eventually come up here towards the end where you'll see the parking lot, and it is actually pretty packed today. So yeah, this is busy. But they have a little hot dog stand out here if you want to get some food. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take this spot right here. Well, I gotta pay too, right? So, all right, I'll see you on the beach. So here's the reality. Estero has no beach of its own. The closest is 20 to 25 minutes drive, and that's with Lover's Key where we're at right now. Lover's Key happens to be the favorite among locals. It's quieter, more natural, and less crowded than Fort Myers Beach, which many retirees actually prefer here. Pro side, Estero is safe, communities are newer, close to airports and shopping, and insurance is generally cheaper compared to coastal properties. On the con side though, the HOA and CDD fees add up. Seasonal traffic can be frustrating, and the off-season can feel very quiet, especially in places like Verdana Village and the place at Corkscrew, where you're 5 or 6 miles away from everything. And if you're picturing a walkable beach town, Estero won't fit that dream. But many retirees actually choose Estero for that exact reason: avoid flood zones and hassles with higher insurance and the hurricane risks that come with being near beachfront living. So who's Estero really perfect for, and who should probably look elsewhere? Let's break it down. So now, in order to get to the Estero Community Park, we needed to head south down the island over the land bridge to the left. Then we took Bonita Beach Road 241, and then we took a left on 41. And now we're gonna head back up 41, about 7 miles or so to our next destination. Every place has its pros and cons, and Estero is no different. The key is knowing whether this suburb lines up with the lifestyle you want. Estero is perfect for retirees who want Naples-level amenities without the Naples-level costs, for families who value newer schools and safe neighborhoods, for golfers and snowbirds who want a resort-style lifestyle, and even for remote workers who don't need a big nightlife scene. But it's probably not the right fit for buyers under the $400,000 price point, young professionals looking for a vibrant nightlife, or anyone dreaming of a beach town lifestyle. One of the places where this balance really shows is right here at Estero Community Park, the largest park in Lee County. Pickleball courts, dog parks, fitness classes, community events, retirees call it the free country club. It's one of the few spots where you'll see families, students, and retirees all mixing together. Now the big question, does Estero really deserve the title of Fort Myers' #1 suburb? Here's my take. For a lot of people, Estero really is the sweet spot. Newer communities, tons of amenities, and close to everything, but like I showed you, it's not perfect. And knowing the trade-offs before you buy is what makes all the difference. If you're still in the early stages of figuring out where in Southwest Florida might be the best fit, I've got a video right here comparing Fort Myers, Estero, Bonita Springs, and Naples side by side, so you can see the good and the bad before making your move. Check that out next. And if you want my free relocation kit with all the insider tips and hidden costs to watch out for, grab it in the link below or scan the QR code on the screen. Call me, text me. I'd love to help you find the right fit here in Southwest Florida. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.